And what I was going to say, we might as well go on to our unsung atheist hero.
Yes. Every week I put together a little bit. Actually, I take it from, I should be honest, take it from the American Atheist Wall Calendar 1998, which has a lot of information about unsung atheists. So I have a weekly segment called Unsung Atheist Hero or Heroine of the Week. And my pick for Hero or Heroine of the Week is Frances Wright, an atheist heroine who lived between 1795 and 1852. She was the daughter of a freethinker who risked arrest to provide money to print Thomas Paine's works. Frances' parents both died in 1798, and she was sent to live with very conservative and wealthy relatives in England. Frances hated their idle, purposeless way of life. She became interested in the writings of Epicurus and Jeremy Bentham, but then discovered the United States described in a book. She was determined to visit the U.S., and she first traveled here in 1818. Upon her return home, Frances wrote Views of Society and Manners in America. Not only did her optimistic descriptions delight Americans, but they won her the friendship of the Marquis de Lafayette. In 1824, she returned to the U.S. with Lafayette. She met with Thomas Jefferson and discussed slavery, which she had not seen on her first trip. It surprised her that the country she thought was so perfect had slavery. She determined to do her part to end it. She purchased a plantation she named Nashoba and purchased slaves with the purpose of teaching them marketable skills and then setting them free. Unfortunately, she was a better idealist than organizer, and one problem followed another. She became friends with the people at the New Harmony Commune and gave her first speech there in 1828. In 1829, she freed her slaves, taking them to Haiti, where she felt they would have a better chance at success. She began speaking and writing, becoming co-editor of the Free Inquirer. Moving to New York, she opened the Hall of Science, which provided education to laborers. She was married in 1831 and had a daughter, and for several years retired, but in 1835 she returned to speaking, continuing until 1839. She spoke for education, women's rights, and against slavery and religion, making many enemies. In 1843 she moved to Cincinnati and lived a quiet life. In 1852 she fell and broke her hip, and resulting in her death several months later. That's Frances Wright, and I have a quote here. Quote, "It is not that religion is merely useless. It is mischievous. It is mischievous by its idle terrors. It is mischievous by its false morality. It is mischievous by its hypocrisy, by its fanaticism, by its dogmatism, by its threats, by its hopes, and by its promises. Consider it under its mildest and most amiable form. It is still mischievous as inspiring false motive of action and holding the human mind in bondage and diverting the attention from things useful to things useless. The essence of religion is fear, and its source is ignorance." Unquote. That's Frances Wright.
Excellent quote.
Atheist heroine of the week.
And such a well put there about it seems like an innocent little thing, the little Bible stories and morality and whatever. But once you start getting into the Bible and reading it, you find out what a poor source of morality choices it really is. And for them to take out bits and pieces out of context to base their life on and ignore the rest, I don't understand. And any comments there on that, Don?
Well, I just
Yes.
I'm glad to have one of us participate in the anti-slavery movement, and I understand that was
way ahead of
that atheists or freethinkers were among the first.
Yeah.
To as a matter of fact, some of the very first abolitionist meetings that were held in New England had to be held in a free thought hall because none of the churches would have anything to do with it. And they came on board later on, at least in the North. But I think that speaks well of our history.
Oh, and she was speaking out against slavery in the 1820s.
All right.
That long before the Civil War. So, and how many people even during the Civil War could stand up and speak so eloquently against slavery and its chief cause at that time, I think, religion, in my opinion.
I think it's not.
Well, apparently, if you look back at the histories of the times, religion, or Christianity specifically, was used to justify slavery.
Exactly.
Certainly not all Christians were for it. But,
Certainly not.
those that were, that was what they used as their evidence. That was their. It must be okay. I mean, we're saving their souls.